Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to an honestly very hard challenge. In the last episode, we discovered 2 brand new little orphan babies in the grasses. That brings our total tribe up to 13 creatures now, and that is a lot of mouths to feed for the amount of food that we have. But I'm hoping that as they grow, they'll be able to provide us with plenty of food too. Little Chess over here, for instance, he has both the claw and the nimble fingers. So he's going to be great at cracking open those acorns, and even finding those little bunnies in the grasses too. That's kind of what Orion is trying to teach him right now. Even though he only has 1 gem to his name, he figures he's never too young to start learning. So we're trying to sniff out those bunnies again. They were definitely over here before trying to steal our berries, so maybe if we have Orion scoot over to this side, he'll have to drag Chess along with him, of course. Because I think we still have the bird in our skies, right? Oh, did the bird leave us? Oh, excellent. It looks like the bird has actually disappeared for the time being. That's especially good for our second little wanderer. We found Zara over here by the brand new kingdom over in the savanna grasses. Kingsley is hoping to put her velvet paw to good use. She's going to be a very, very sneaky individual, so we figure she could probably patrol the borders. But she's not exactly going to be the strongest, and I'm sure that Kingsley probably sees that too. So he has decided to strike off for familiar ground. He's going back to the main part of camp to see if he can entice anybody over to his side instead. Now the last time he was here, there was actually quite the little Berryina invasion going on, so he's probably a little bit cautious still. But as you can see, there's plenty of new babies around here. The peaceful bear is still here too, so there can't be too much danger, right? Nothing that he can smell at least. Even the defender bear is far away from us now. So he is going to try his best to seem like a good and proper king. Let them know that they have plenty of food over here. Oh, and skeletons too. Wait a second. This must be one of the rogue males, right? I'm pretty sure we had a rogue male down here who was very, very close to the end of his lifespan. But it's never a good sign to see skeletons just floating right by the ocean like this. I mean, Crash was far too far away to have his hand in it. Not to mention, he has his own problems right now. Toxin is bringing the news that their own baby has passed away before we were even able to meet them. I definitely want to see if we can have another baby between them. In fact, let's go ahead and have her breed with him now, since this might be our only chance. He only has 2 days remaining on his lifespan just like Mist does, so he's never truly going to get the chance to meet his baby. She's actually probably a little bit afraid that this is going to drive them apart. She still remembers being essentially abandoned by her Berryina love, wherever he ran off to. I like to imagine that he probably did get cornered by a defender bear. It's easier than thinking that he left her for his own reasons, but for all intents and purposes, she just believes that he up and abandoned her one day, just before she was about to have his baby too. So this is probably really putting her in a scary situation. She's probably going to stay right by his side too, even if he wasn't about to pass away. She would just want to be near him for the comfort of it all. Yuri, on the other hand, I'm not sure if he's going to enjoy so many creatures poking around his home. We figured that there's probably a little bit of distrust between these two. Yuri knows that Crash has quite the colorful past, so maybe he would want to slink off somewhere else. In fact, since it seems like the bunnies keep stealing his berries now, you little bunnies were hiding from me before, but it's very, very clear that you've returned to take your fill of berries. Let's see if we could have him sneak right back up the waterfall again. If we could bring him over here instead, back to the oak tree, I wonder if he could actually get a little taste of acorns. He seemed very, very curious about these before. I'm sure that Jade is going to notice him too, because there's no way that she's leaving this place. She would probably tell Kingsley as much. I'm not sure if she would even truly realize that this is her brother. I mean, she must have some suspicion. That snout would probably be enough. But she's never actually met her older brother before, so she feels no true connection to him. And she would much rather stay here and just protect her tribe like her mother wanted her to. In fact, if we could scoot you on over here, maybe you could grab up this bug swarm for us, and then we'll bring you right back to the oak tree again. You'll have lots of acorns to pick up on the next turn. That leaves Sybil to hop over here to actually pay the peaceful bear too, so you can go back to protecting us again, with the 18 days that you have remaining on your lifespan. So Kingsley is definitely not going to convince his sister to help him. But I wonder if maybe Sybil would be a little bit more curious? Like, I know she has her job here with Jade. She's the one knocking down most of the acorns for her to use. But she is also just like her father, and she has that heart of adventure in her. So she probably wants to see the world, and she figures this is a very good opportunity. Now, I don't think that Jade is going to fault her for that, but we'll get back to them on the next turn when they have a little bit more energy. For now, we should probably go back to you three. Unless we just check one more time. Are those bunnies back? No, it looks like you guys may have scared them away pretty good. In fact, these might be the same bunnies over here that are stealing all of Yuri's berries. Maybe we could actually have you clear out the grasses a little bit? It'll make it harder for you to hide amongst the weeds, of course. But it'll be easier for you guys to run after the bunnies as soon as he grows his next gem. Oh, and look at this, Crash. Of course, after you spent a leisurely day fishing, now the bunnies are hopping right underneath your feet. They know that you can't do anything to harm them now. Now, Mist's final day is coming up too. Only 2 days remaining, and she's just about to give birth to her next baby. Assuming that this one survives at least, and we haven't exactly had the best luck. Though Dreamer is going to be right by her side this time. We don't have any berries to pick up either, do we? Yeah, pretty much everything has been devoured by the bunnies here. And those pesky rogue males too. This is the orange one who was hanging around the healing fruit before. Funny to see you out all this way, Mr. Rogue Male. I guess it's better than the one who was potentially working with the Defender Bear. And since he has mysteriously disappeared, it makes me wonder if he is bringing back that news. Well, let's have Mist go ahead and grab a couple of little patches of grass, just so we have the extra nesting material to give to the peaceful bear, of course. That's probably still high in her mind. Even though she's about to have her next baby, she wants to make sure that the tribe is going to be left in very, very capable hands. I think she probably figures as much too. She knows that Jade has a good head on her shoulders, and she knows that she's been doing everything in her power to keep the oak tree protected. That is going to be the key to us flourishing here. As long as we still have all of these resources under our control, I think we're going to be just fine. Now, Dreamer, you've stayed right by her side for this long. There's no way you're going to leave now. I was hoping maybe a new root had spawned out here. Oh, looks like there was one over here, actually. Yeah, right next to Icebreaker. So he'll probably yell out to you so you can scoot on down here and grab this for the brand new baby. I wonder if this is some sort of ritual for her, since we figured she's probably connected to the gravediggers from Adam's quest. Maybe this is some sort of way to request good luck for Miss Baby. Almost like a ritual for Moon Eye and Crescent, maybe. As they watch over the cycle of rebirth, of life and of death, they would probably have a little hand to play in this too. And as for you, Icebreaker, I think we're probably going to want to bring you back here, just so you can be next to your mate when she does have her baby on the next turn. Now all that should be left is you two, Ben and the brand new little baby. I kind of see Zara as being a very quiet sort, since she is so sneaky, and she is so young too. Who knows what sort of traumatic things she's been through. She probably even watched her parents pass away because of the nature of this crazy challenge. So she's definitely not one for conversation. I'd imagine it's going to be very, very hard for Ben to get any words out of her. But she is going to follow very closely behind him, so we don't accidentally lose her, of course. And so we can try our best to pick some more berries with you. Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness, Ben, don't you dare forget to pick up that bunny meat. Your brother would be so disappointed in you. That should be the end of our turns, though. So let's go back to you, Mist. I'm almost scared to see what's going to happen here. Honestly, though, it seems like every single time our babies have some sort of connection to the bananas. particularly that sticky tongue. That's enough to keep them safe. So let's hope that that tradition is going to hold true for us now. Is this baby going to be okay? Oh no, not again. Oh, Dreamer, you were truly her last baby? I mean, I guess that's kind of poetic in a way, but yet again, a baby with the derp snout, so no sticky tongue? No protection from the banana guardians. So it seems you'll have to wait to meet that baby until you drift off into dreams. I guess it would be pretty poetic for her to pass away on this nest too. Right next to the nursery, right next to the place where all of those bugs are constantly spawning. So it's almost as if she's going to stay here to watch over the babies too, just like our friendly peaceful bear. Though I'm pretty sure that we could have her scoot down here to grab some berries at least. As her final act as a leader, I guess. She's been through this so many times now that she knows how to find the strength within herself. So she would skip on over to the berry bush, grab those berries before the greedy bunnies do. Though I did notice one skittering off into the darkness over here. Yeah, looked like that one had just spawned on top of the bunny burrow. That's interesting. There aren't too many creatures who could go after it over here though, and you're definitely not going to be able to catch up to any bunnies. Well, let's have Mist return to the nest. I guess that kind of tired her out. We could have Icebreaker maybe come over here to gather some of these berries too. The extra berries that she wasn't able to collect. And then as for you, Dreamer, I guess it's just going to be your job to settle down right next to your mother. To make sure that she passes peacefully on to her next life. And to deliver her perhaps to the deities themselves, so she can finally rise to the rank of a beacon of positivity. The one sheltering the orphans that we find. The one working perhaps right alongside Comet himself to protect our tribe mates. And of course the one keeping Mulberry's misfortune at bay. That's probably the most important part. Well, let's go back to Kingsley for now, because he's going to have to make a decision to go back to his kingdom pretty soon. He can only hope that somebody's going to follow him. We could have him maybe grab one of these acorns for the road. I feel like that would be terribly, terribly fitting. He probably misses the taste of acorns, to be honest. It was pretty much what he exclusively lived off of after all. He was the one who was supposed to collect every last one underneath those branches, until he found something more suited to his tastes. But Jade is just going to sigh and shake her head, pick up her own acorns on the other side. And I suppose Yuri over here, as he grabs the one last acorn for himself, he could scoot up and knock down some more from the other side of the tree. That would probably surprise her quite a bit, but she's not going to refuse the extra help. Especially because Sybil seems bent on leaving. Like I said before though, she is not about to fault Sybil for leaving her. She knows that she has that fiery passion for adventure in her heart too. And it would probably do the baby good to set off into the world, to find her own place and her own purpose. So while it's going to take a very, very long time for Sybil to follow after Kingsley, eventually she's going to make it there, and hopefully she'll be able to keep all of these creatures safe. Oh, Mr. Ben, it looks like you found a little bunny too. You know, you could actually take this one down. Why do I keep forgetting that he doesn't have a single point of attack? Oh my goodness, Ben. Alright, so you definitely can't take it down. I guess that's actually going to fall to Zara. That may have been a pretty good learning experience for her. It's going to put the idea in her mind that bunnies are a very tricky foe to defeat. So she'll train hard until she can master taking them down. She might actually be growing her next gem pretty soon too. She's 7 days old, so I'm pretty sure she'll be growing her second gem on the next turn. And that is definitely a good sign. She'll be able to stray a little bit further away from Ben for one, and I guess she can start patrolling the borders too. Maybe she could even help Sybil hop through all of that grass, and she still has a few days to go before she has her third gem. Now I think we're just down to you guys back here. Crash with all the fish, of course. If there are any more for him to collect. It seemed like they were pretty lazy before, so I can't imagine they've all disappeared. Yet there they are. One last swarm of fish for you to scoop up for your mate. And a little bunny too, but I think that's actually going to go to Toxin. It'll give her something to take her mind off of the current situation. And I guess this can be their romantic dinner in a way. I wonder if that's bringing back any bad memories actually, especially on Crash's very last day here. He's going to pass away, and all she'll be able to think of is the Berryina who left her. But at least she'll have plenty of food to bring back to her tribe mates, I guess. And speaking of which, it looks like you guys actually still have every last one of your berries. That is very, very surprising. I thought maybe the bunnies were nowhere to be found, but I guess you're just intimidating them. So I guess there was some sort of strategy to picking up all of these grasses, because now the bunnies can definitely see you. Let's have you hop down here, pick up a little bit more grass, and Chess can scoot right in your shadow. He should actually be growing his next gem on the next turn too, so he can finally dart off into the grasses and try to help his father take down one of these bunnies. Now that should officially be the last of our turns. So this is the sad, sad day where we're going to say goodbye to two of our tribe mates, Mist and Crash. Mist is probably the hardest one for me to say goodbye to, because she's turned out to be one of my favorite characters in this entire series. If not for her, I think we would have struggled much, much more to survive here, but at least we know that she's going to be watching over us. Her remains will stay here right by the nursery, so any baby born here will hopefully have that positivity in them too. The rogue males are a little bit more worrying though, especially now that we have Jade, who doesn't have a mate of her own, so it's going to be hard to keep her from the watchful eyes of the rogue males, unless maybe an icebreaker jumps in. To be honest, he's probably going to struggle the most with Mist's absence. Even though he knows that she would want him to be happy, he really doesn't even know a life without her, so it's going to be very, very hard for him to come to terms with this. It seems like your presence was enough to scare the rogue male away though. Oh my gosh, do we actually have another baby over here? A teenager this time, wait a second. Oh, Jasmine. Princess Jasmine with her claw and everything. I see that you have those little frog toes though, and I'm a little bit concerned about that. Do you think maybe she's Chess's sister? 16 days old, that's actually much, much older than he is. So you're his big sister maybe? Actually, you're just about to grow your third gem, I think. Oh, what an opportune moment for us to find you. You know, I think I'm gonna have to do it again. We just lost two of our tribe mates anyways, so I guess you're going to take their place. And at least you can help us by giving us food to eat too. Well, if there were ever a way for us to honor Mist's memory, I guess it would be this right here. It's kind of funny how you're attracting so many different wanderers your way. It's gotta be that peacock tail. I mean, it must be pretty hard for him to hide this giant thing in all the grass, no matter how hard he tries to skitter into the darkness. And I see you back there, little bunny. Are you trying to take these berries? Maybe we should have Chess go ahead and grab the berries themselves, as many as he can possibly carry. Then Jasmine could jump over here instead and try to lure the bunny out from hiding. Have you actually hopped all the way up there? That was very, very quick for a bunny. Maybe we're going to have Orion jump into the grasses instead. You could settle down on top of your stump again. That would be a good way to scout out for these pesky little critters. This one down by the shore is probably too far away. Not to mention you don't exactly have the energy for it. Now, do you have the lean body? I think that might be the normal body. It's a little bit hard to tell with the frog legs of hers. Maybe if we click on somebody else who has the lean body too? Yeah, I'm still not very sure. I think it might be the lean body though. Just the fact that she has a 3 in movement must mean that she has a smaller body than most. Though even the normal body would be better than Sybil's spiky body, because I don't think that's giving her any boost in speed. Let's make sure that you're following after Kingsley. Gotta make sure that he knows that somebody is coming with him, even if it is the slowest creature in all the land. Oh, he is not going to be too pleased. Let's actually have him do her a favor and clear out a little bit of this grass for her. It's not very often that the King of Bananas shows kindness like this. It must be that Berryina claw that truly impressed him. I guess he knows that he's going to have an advantage on his side as long as he stays on her good side too. And Zara, looks like you do have your second gem. And it looks like the bunnies have indeed devoured every last berry on that bush. Well, maybe this is a good opportunity for you then. We'll bring Ben over here so he can light up the way for you. And you might be able to try to take down a couple of those little pests. Let's actually have you hide away inside the grasses. Yeah, because I had a feeling that you would be very, very good at sneaking up on them. Maybe you can't take them down in one swipe, but every little bit helps. And Ben will be very happy if you make his job a little bit easier. So while it is very sad for Jade to see Sybil go, she knows that she's going to see her again sometime soon. I'm sure that Sybil has promised that she's going to visit her again. And look at all of these bunnies. We're going to have you pick up the nesting material instead though. We could always use a little bit more of that. And one of you reminded me that we could actually use the algae in the water to collect the nesting material too. Maybe that's something that we could have somebody like Toxin focus on, as she builds a proper memorial for her mate. Maybe since he seemed to love fishing so much, she figures that this is some good stuff to use. I wonder if we could have her flutter on over to Orion and his family too. Not only would she love to meet the kids that he's found, but I'm sure that having him around would soothe her as well. She just doesn't want to be alone right now, and Orion always makes great company. So even though he's kind of given up on singing for now, she probably heard him humming his songs nonetheless. And that's what lured her over in this direction. Not to mention there are so many roots over here, so she can finally start chipping away at those too. Now Jasmine, let's have you hop over here for now. Yeah, because that bunny is still lurking. You might actually be able to lure it over here better if you're not right in the way. I don't think it's going to notice you at all. That dark fur of yours probably blends in so well with the scenery. Does it give you a little camouflage boost? It looks like it does, so you're going to be the greatest hunter in all the land. Now Yuri, I believe it's just up to you. Let's have you knock down a few more acorns for your new friend over here. He might be a guarded little badger, but he can tell that she means no harm. They're kind of just working from their own separate sides of the tree at this point. And last but not least, Icebreaker. It looks like that bunny is a little bit too far away, but I suppose we could always have you hop over here so you can grab it on the next turn. That defender bear is still very, very far away from our territory. Do you think maybe he would go after it? Since he does remember it lurking in the background, he probably wants to keep this nursery safe just like his mate did. That would be a good way for him to honor her memory too. And I suppose it would be a pretty good distraction. As long as he doesn't end up getting the defender bear mad at least. We know how quick he can be to attack. I don't think he would want Dreamer to come on this journey with him either. Most likely he would prefer if she just stayed over here with the other kids. She could probably find some more roots to dig up in the process. Oh my gosh, and all the roots over here too. Oh, do you think maybe Dreamer would like to team up with Kingsley? It doesn't really seem like it's her speed, unless she can sense that he needs somebody to help him break past his arrogance. Maybe Mist has even sent her there in her dreams. I know that these two are going to be deeply connected after all. So I could definitely see that being the case. So as we have Icebreaker go ahead and collect his bunny meat, then scoot on a little bit further back toward the bunny burrows. Sniffing around as we go, just in case. Yeah, so far so good. Everything seems very, very quiet. So we'll bring Dreamer up here, and we'll have her scoot away over to the Peaceful Bear. So perhaps we can check to make sure. Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to be looking for a little bit more nesting material. Luckily, Jade has you covered. And I wonder how the Peaceful Bear is going to feel about Mist passing. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about that, because those two clearly shared some sort of bond too. Maybe that's even why he needed a little bit more nesting material, something to remember her by. Otherwise, he's likely to charge off into the grasses and never to be seen again, fading away into dreams just as Mist herself did. Well, Sybil, either way, let's have you hop on after your new king. Your knight in shining armor, as it were, thanks to his helpful pathway clearing. Can Kingsley actually reach this bunny down here too? Yep, it looks like he can. So as he jumps over here and pounces on this bunny, I can see him scolding his brother yet again. He probably doesn't realize that Ben doesn't have it in him to attack. He's a little bit too weak for that, but he just sees that weakness as hesitance. Oh no, and speaking of hesitance... Oh, Jess, did you lose those berries? Well, at least you can still grab the bunny, right? Go ahead and pick up that bunny meat for us, and then Jasmine, with your third and final gem in tow, you can hop all the way down to the shore. Oh, lighting up plenty of the wildlife for us. Fish in the water. Oh, if somebody was brave enough, they could probably grab that too. These are easy enough for anybody with the claw, but since this clown koi seems to be dead, that's our best chance of picking up that food right now. Otherwise, we'd need somebody with a much higher fishing skill to truly grab these things out of the water. Jasmine is quite the little spitfire too. That seems pretty fitting. She probably reminds Orion quite a bit of Toxin. And you know, it almost makes me wonder if maybe this could be where love starts to blossom. These two wouldn't make such bad partners. That big body of his, as long as she doesn't pass the frog toes anyways. That might be helpful to ensure that her line is very, very strong. Maybe it's something for us to consider, especially because we need to pair him up with somebody without the no-paws. Orion is absolutely guaranteed to pass one no-paw to his babies, just like the rogue males would be. But he also has perfect eyesight, and I'm pretty sure that she does too. Yet that is also one seriously big advantage. No more short-sighted eyes for us. So I suppose in the next episode, when we finally bring Orion's family back to the healing fruit. Actually, this thing has been in darkness for quite some time now. He might actually have a home to defend by the time he gets back there. Who knows what sort of a riffraff has spawned in the meantime? But maybe on the journey over there, he and Jasmine will grow a little bit closer too. Oh my gosh, little bunny! Oh my gosh, I have never seen that before. This poor thing must have gotten swept away by the waterfall. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if you're even going to survive the night, but if you stay there, then we could definitely scoop you up with Jasmine too. The only question is whether or not she's going to be brave enough to try to grab that clown koi before we leave. I guess that all depends if it's still there once we pass the day too. We're doing much, much better on the food supplies though. We're actually almost up to 100 pieces of food. I was thinking that once we have enough food to our name, maybe we would actually consider striking off to one of the different islands. As per the rules of the challenge, we're only allowed to go to harder islands or those of the same difficulty. So either toward the savannah here, or toward the mountain instead. Now I think it's still going to be quite some time before we're ready to truly leave, because I don't want to risk our creatures starving, of course. But let me know which place you guys think would be the best area for us to explore. Since we have so many sticky tongues, I'm sure the savannah would be a great place for them to survive. But to be honest, the savannah is probably the most boring in terms of diversity, and we know that the mountain has plenty more wildlife for us to uncover. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!